hawk on the arm of the creator of the universe. I would walk the halls of Oak Forest Hospital as a nurse's aide, many of nights when most are asleep, like 3 a.m. That was the best time during those quiet moments, walking back and forth, nearly pacing the floor. And I saw myself as a bird, and not just a bird, but a hawk. I was normally shy and not the one going to socialize anywhere. Hubby was more the talkative one. So I'd ask God, what type of Christian is he? And God said, he's a tank. I said, a tank? He said, yeah, a tank that throws out fire to clear a path. So as a bird, you can go right through. So, years flew by, and a nurse I became. Hubby would clear the path. So, I would ask God, what type of bird? And he said, a hawk. A hawk who I will send to capture prey. I will say, you go, and you will. So my path seemed easy, for a hawk naturally is happy to fly. But I don't go anywhere. I'm not the social personality type. Hubby was. Maybe God was using him to help me learn to be social. And I would come along for the ride on this path called life. Due to surgical limitations, not having much voice as a wife can be hard. But I would support hubby and his survival ideas, from tents to bread making to karate, while I studied my medical in pandemics, not knowing 2019 hubby would be taken before the pandemic showed up. Then by 2020, the world changed. And it was me now being placed on the arm of the creator of the universe. Can God still use a broken bird, nearly songless, who would rather fly than listen? So God started to change me. I was willing to listen, and so was placed on a path to obey a calling. Baby steps of assignments with me saying, yes, Lord, yes to your will and to your way. I will trust you and obey. God does change us. For me, it was going out my back door seeking God every morning to be filled so I in turn can be poured out again as he leads. And my voice started to get louder to nearly speaking volume. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 4. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not to thy own understanding, but in thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. And it shall be healthy to thy navel, and marrow to thy bone. And honor the Lord with thy substance, and with thy fruit of thy increase. So thy shall be barns will be filled with plenty, pressed, and shall be burst out with new wine. Yes, I did live in a barn house and was caged up in spirit for years. God showed me an old music box. This box first was a cage with a bird in it. And as the bird, it would be on its base, on its nature, with feathers, right? And a bird in nature would have flown away, but not listened to anybody. Hubby sweetly worked to allow me small amounts of flying. He was really good with all the animals. With Buddy the bird, who was wounded, and his left eye was being damaged. And we thought Buddy would be blind in that eye. Why? Because the other birds damaged it. But under my husband's care, the eyes opened, and his left eye became healed. Buddy would hear my husband's voice, and he would walk and get excited when Buddy came to the cage. That's right, Buddy would get all excited. Buddy knew he'd be let out for a time to fly. He flew around and landed on my husband's shoulder, right to his arm. And Buddy was so trainable with hubby, being in control of our home environment. Even the cat had to obey. Yes, there was a bird flying and a cat on the couch watching, hoping to have a moment. But hubby knew and controlled everything. The owner of Buddy came, and the bird saw and was afraid that he would have to be sent back. But hubby reassured Buddy that Buddy was his bird, and he was not going back to the world where the other birds had blinded him in the past. So Buddy was free to be even friendly again to its old owner. So here I am, a broken bird, wounded, caged for a season. Hubby taught me to be free for only short distances. However, with his death, a path was made open, so as a hawk, I sat on the arm of the creator of the universe to trust and obey where to go. Praise Yah. And as hubby and I unpacked my music box of the bird in the cage part was broken off completely. That music box, however, was still worked, and the bird was dancing, no longer in its cage. So as God leads me now, onto this path I go. So spoken in Proverbs. As I spoke with Proverbs, with now having a voice, and travel all over, one step at a time, as I learn to listen carefully, to go where I'm sent like a bird of prey. This is true. Freedom to seek God and move in obedience. So those who are caged, God is calling you. You out to trust Him, to heal you. You who were blind, you could not voice your path. God sees you, and He can speak. He can speak out your pain. He can have you fly again. This time in the right path, and that path that was placed in time, waiting for you. You to cry and to seek God. You can be that best person you've always wanted to be. Your fears are like that cage that can be stripped and broken before you. And in your flying, you can allow God to be your vision. And He can be your power over your weakness. Love, hope, joy, unity with self-control. As you go, teach. That's the key. You can fly as I fly, and you can do that. Like a bird out of a cage. Be on the Creator's arm and let him lead you.